Oh, look, there's a red dot up at top. We're live.
We're live. Oh, you didn't even
We're
do a
live.
countdown, Brandy.
I didn't. Oh, look at me. I am so awful. Like, this is how scatterbrained I am, TCA. This is bad. Look, I don't
Really?
even know
You
what this is.
scatterbrained?
Hold
I'm
on.
the one that freaking talks to the audience and I'm not even live.
Look, here we go. Hold on. Four, three, two, one countdown on that.
Well, I've got the 30-second one and I don't like it. I
It's
don't
too
know.
long and it's boring, so I need to figure out another one to put down in here. You need to
Yeah.
make one or something.
I need to figure out how to do one of those, your opening video.
Well, I'll sit down and help you do that. Let me get through this wedding
Yeah, you get through
because
that wedding.
I don't have we were doing some content planning today because the channel has a soft opening April 15th. And then we are hard open June 9th, the day of the gala. I believe it's the day of the gala. It's either June 9th or June 9th or June 10th. The day of the gala is the 10th. So it's June 9th or June 10th. One of those days is the actual official launch of the whole channel. So
Oh, wow.
we've been kind of working things around, and we've been recording stuff for the Gypsy documentary, and I've got some stuff to work on for that, and then I've got my other stuff, and I've been working on videos for the wine channel, and then now my coffee and crime show isn't going to be once a day; it's going to be every morning.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. So
Oh, wow.
now I'm like, what the fudge was I thinking? So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do, because in true crime, we have somebody watching. Who's watching? It shows one person watching.
Really?
Hey, yeah, I don't know who's here, but it shows one person watching.
Hey, if you're here,
Um,
chat, just say hello.
just say hello, and if you're lurking, at least give us a thumbs up. Thank you. This is going to be a fun life. Well, sort of fun. I've got some heartfelt stuff to share, but
Yeah.
we oh hell, where was I going? Oh, so what I'm gonna do, in the true crime community, we don't always have a lot of stuff news breaking every day. We have lulls, and so I'm gonna do a lot of content of other cases that are just kind of where I can do like a 45-minute segment of a case that's not heavy. Like I'm not gonna do serial killers in the morning when we're having coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I can do court coverage and kind of give some updates on what's going on in the current cases and things like that. I'm going to do 1 to 2 a week that will be on the current stuff, and then other stuff will be just different cases from all over or whatever, whatever little thing I do. And then like extra tidbits from that, and if I have crime scene photos or whatever, all of that'll go into my Patreon. And so and the other subscription services they offer to kind of people that want to get into that part of the shows, um, and behind the scenes stuff. So I've got a lot of stuff I'm trying to put together,
It'll come together.
and I'm a little overwhelmed because I have a wedding in a week.
Well,
Right at a
not to
week.
mention your wedding, you've got your zoo, you've got everything else going on, your doctor's appointments.
Right, and like I was telling Fancy today, I was like, look, I'm the week after the wedding. I have an interview the 21st. 22nd. Believe it's 22nd. I have an interview, and so that week I'll start balls to the walls interviews, recording, and different things, and getting everything together. I can't do anything right now. We've got next week I'm making a groom's cake. I am swamped with that. Friday I have my rheumatologist appointment to find out all of my results. I will tell you now that I'm off the prednisone, I've taken her weird dosage that she had me set on. and I'm starting to feel things come back. So the prednisone worked.
Really?
Yes.
Oh gosh,
Like
prednisone makes me mean and hateful,
I
and
I told Dave today, it dawned on me because
it,
we had the county commissioner come out. Hey, Carrie.
it was Carrie, probably. She said.
Carrie. And the county commissioner come out because we've got a guy that's blocked some of the drainage ditch, which is part of the reason why my property flooded. And it's holding water on the main road, so they can't fix anything because he's blocked the ditch. So, and he's not wanting to fix it, so they're gonna have to bring the law out. But he came out, he asked me if he could walk my property to see where the guy blocked it. And I said, oh, absolutely. So I walked it with him. It dawned on me, we've been here 6 months, and that's the first time I've been able to walk the property.
Oh wow, so you are feeling better.
Yes, and it didn't even dawn on me until after he had left, and I come in and was doing a few more things, and I could feel my body kind of hurting a little bit, so I rested a minute, which is what I do. And I'm like, later that evening, I'm like, oh shit, that's the first time I've walked the front half of the property. I haven't walked the back half yet. I'm not brave enough to do that by myself. Hello,
That's amazing.
Michelle.
Hey,
My
Michelle.
beautiful friend. Now, you know your name is Kay. That's what that K stands for, Michelle, is Kayla. We've already decided this. Michelle and I have been on the hunt to figure out, because they said she's Kayla.
She's just freaking beautiful.
And
Just
so
absolutely
now
gorgeous.
the Michelle K stands for Michelle Kayla. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, you have the right to your opinion. Hey, Michelle, did you ever email me? Because I've been watching. I seen the one and I replied, but I haven't seen anything since. Oh, there's Lonnie.
Hi, Lonnie.
There's another pretty one. She's beautiful.
I love her.
We got only the best in here.
The best of the bestest.
Yep, the best of the best.
I know, Michelle. Michelle texts us she's like, I found Kayla. We were trying to figure. We had not seen a Kayla because certain people were saying that Michelle's alt is Kayla, and I'm like, who the fuck is Kayla? I've never seen a Kayla in the community, and so we've been on the hunt, and Michelle found her last night. So,
oh shit!
I'm like, I've never even seen a Kayla. It's just hilarious. But yeah, the prednisone has done wonders, and so I've got to make sure I tell the rheumatologist all of that when I go next Friday. And then I have my MRI.
Just make sure that, I'm sure they told you this, to eat with it when you take it, and don't take it like in the afternoon or you won't be sleeping.
I did notice twice I forgot to take it in the morning, so I took it in the afternoon and I did not sleep. And
you won't freaking sleep.
Remember the other day I told you I had hormone hell happen and kept me up all night? That was the day I took it in the afternoon. I'm like, Brandy, don't be stupid and do that again.
Yeah, I used to have to take prednisone every day, and then every 3 months I went in for a steroid shot with my rheumatologist. Mm-hmm. And Jim, bless his heart, but he's like, that shit is awful. It makes you mean. You don't sleep. All I have to do is look at him and he leaves, because it's like,
I'm that way if they put me on any kind of diet medication.
This is
raging bitch. That.
So I got off of it all, and now I'm just my happy-go-lucky person. Yeah.
Yes, Lonnie, please do. It's going to get a little serious in a minute, and it's some really personal things, but absolutely. And it comes back to an email, and I'm going to share. I'm going to read the email. I'm not showing the email.
It's awful.
I'm not responding to the email. I've deleted it. I took a little screenshot, and so I had it because I sent it to TCA and was like, "Look at this shit."
It was awful.
But here's the thing. Raina, it's not your turn to talk. Go lay down and get your ball. Go get your ball.
Who? Oh, the dog.
Yeah, Raina's over here talking to me. She's about to start talking because she thinks she's supposed to be a part of the show.
Of course.
But, I had this email, and so here's the thing. Were they being snarky little assholes, or were they really trying to figure it out? It could be either way. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm not going to publicly show the email for attention. We're just going to tell the story. And people can take from it what they want. Huh?
It needs to be told, because I guarantee you're not the only person that has gotten terrible emails or nasty. I don't know. I'll let you read your email.
Here's where the email says, guys. It says hypocrite, which I find funny. It's fine. Hi, BB&J.
Hey, girl.
They said, I've heard you say several times over the last couple of years, which tells me they follow me, guys, that you don't do organized religion. I feel you have always been outspoken about that, actually. Yet, I see you sharing a church's YouTube channel and their service. You confuse me, viewer. So, I have shared, I think, 2, maybe 3 church services from a church we used to attend. It is what I consider my home church. And I love the pastor's services. I love his preaching. I love his son preached. The last one I shared was his son. And what's funny is, I mean, I taught the son in children's church. And so it's really funny to watch him be a preacher now and a dad and all these things. And it makes me kind of proud, you know? And so, but those things I share, sometimes there's whatever in that. I still watch them because I still like to hear a good preaching. You're better than I, because I would have stopped at hypocrite. See, I didn't even respond. I didn't even email them back. I'm like, yeah, you're not getting that kind of response from me. Not happening. And so, you know, I shared those because for whatever reason, I feel like somebody else might want to hear that message. And I think they're really good. And I know that pastor's heart, and I know his son's heart. Now, it took us a long time to get to that place. And that's the story I'm going to go with. I will join Lindsay's church since she's an ordained. That cracks me up that she's legally an ordained minister. Like, seriously. The atheist is now a minister. She's silly. She cracks me up. But, so, you know, people get cult vibes and cult organizations confused. Oh. And there's really a thin line with this. And so when we were in the military, I was young. My husband and I got married when I was 18. And, you know, I was a party girl. I had grown up very fast. And, right, she has her bases covered. I will be listening. I'm having a lazy day and should get my day started. So I will be in a chat in a bit. Okay, Lonnie, thank you. I didn't even see your comment. I was writing mine, Carrie. Okay. And when we came back to the States, I was in a place, what we know now is I was having a mental breakdown. And we did not understand what was going on. We did not understand. And of course, back in the 90s, we didn't really still talk about mental health and mental illness. And I was in a huge mental breakdown. And I was trying to leave my husband. I was trying to walk away from my children.
Gosh, that just gives me goosebumps.
I was literally losing my mind. And my husband, and this is why I tell people all the time, he is perfect. He refused to give up. Like, I had taken my wedding rings off, and he carried my wedding rings in his pocket.
Oh.
And he fought, and he held on, and he kept saying, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to get through this. And I'm just like, no, I don't want this. I don't. And I didn't know what I want. Honestly, I was so lost. And we started kind of getting settled a little more, and I started kind of grounding a little bit and decided to stay in my marriage. I ended up getting pregnant. I had my son. My son was about 6 months old, and we went to an Easter service at this church that all of the people my husband grew up with went to. His best friend went there, and he knew all of these people. Like, it was very overwhelming because he literally knew everybody. And I'm like, I don't know none of these people. And because I didn't have an area where we grew up and knew everybody, we moved a lot. And so to come back to an area where my husband literally knew the whole town was weird. And in this church, it grew really fast. And we became very ingrained in the church. I was there every service, 2 on Sunday, 1 on Wednesday, and Bible study. And on Tuesday we had women's Bible study. And if there was anything extra, I was there at that. And then I was doing a children's church. I was doing a nursery. I was in the choir. Our choir began traveling. We traveled and did service on TV. We had this ended up being almost a mega church. You hear about the mega churches all the time. And we had Jesse Duplantis come in. We had TD Jakes come in. We had the big ones, the big dogs, and we had different ministries we did in the community. We did amazing things. Well, what we started finding was later on, after things really blew up, is what the pastor was doing was dictating to elders of the church and leaders who could be friends. Like, he would assign them who to be friends with. And I had a total mental breakdown one night, and I was seeing demons, is what I felt like it was. And David literally sat in the middle of the floor holding me while I screamed for 3 hours until I just finally passed out. Well, this was a Saturday night. We went to church on Sunday. He told the pastor we needed to talk privately, and we went and met with him later that afternoon, and we tell him what happens. And he tells me, look, you have issues and you need to get over them. They are not fair to your husband. And I broke. I sat there and I stared at him, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I immediately felt like a failure. I was literally 24 years old, so I was young. And we went to the doctor. I got on medication. We discovered quickly that certain medications are not good for me, and I overdosed on that medication.
Oh, wow.
And literally when Dave called the doctor, and he said, no, I just counted the pills. She literally took one pill. And he said, oh, okay, yeah, she's very sensitive, and we're going to have to readjust this. So we've always had to be very careful. That was when we found out how sensitive my body was. And things walked along, and they got to where we were told to boycott Disney because it was witchcraft.
Hey, I'm going to agree with that. Disney's evil. I'm going to tell you. I'm telling you right now, the stuff I have, Disney is, but go ahead. That's a whole nother story.
Right. Well, we were given a list at one point of different products that, because they supported gay rights, that we were to ban. We weren't, like Tide and Lord, I don't even remember all of them. Like, I'm like, look, if I take all of this stuff off this list and never use it, what am I going to use?
Wait a second. They didn't want you to use Tide?
Like, yeah.
Like laundry soap.
Any product that the company supported gay rights movements and like Boys Haven and things like that they deemed witchcraft or homosexuality, we weren't supposed to support it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And literally had us feeling, I identify with Goofy.
I do too. I love Goofy.
I'm Eeyore, y'all. Eeyore, because even in his depression goes out and has a good time with his friends. That's just me. I love Eeyore. It was years later that we realized the conditioning we had gone through. I even began only buying clothes if I thought would be approved by the pastor.
Oh my gosh, Brandy.
Yeah. And it was weird how the conditioning happened, and it was small things. And of course, this one incident that happened, it had all the men in the church worked up, but one of the older women of the church, she was amazing. I loved her. She was a doll. She was so funny. But she had some weird teachings. So she did a Bible study with us one time and literally told us that the only thing your mouth should be used for was praise and eating. You shouldn't be kissing. You shouldn't be doing oral sex. You should
That's
only be
fucked
having
up.
sex if you're trying to make a baby. And like she had scripture and all of this stuff. I walked out of there totally freaked out, totally losing it. Many of us were. The church got phone calls because husbands were pissed.
Well, this kind of religion, this kind of cult-like mentality, that's what pushes people away from God.
It is. It
And
becomes too much. It's too much.
It does. People, that is not of God, you know.
No. Well, and as things going on, because of all that we did, I mean, because we did do some really amazing things. Like we did what we called Operation Christmas, which in our community, the children that didn't have anything, we gave presents, and they got like 3 each. And you know, when you're talking, I think one year we had 100 kids. I mean, usually it was a lot of kids, 100 to 200 kids, and you're blessing them with those kind of presents. You get an energy charge from that. I don't care what you say. When you help that much, it's an adrenaline charge, and they began to have pretty big egos on some of this shit that we were doing. And then of course we were on TV. I mean, we were invited to come sing at big churches, and we did all of these things. And so we were doing this community outreach, and I was actually the little area that we were doing was this rundown apartment building and travel trailer park. And David and I had lived in this early on, like way back. Chris was like 2 months old, 3 months old. And like literally when the guy upstairs took a bath, his shower water run into my bathtub. It was gross. And I have no idea why. It's a guy holding a church service in his home in YouTube, and he is standing in front of his daughter's casket. Oh my God.
That's what I'm reading. What the hell?
Oh my God, that is creepy.
What? YouTube recommended that?
Oh. I'm weirded out by that. Sorry. Whoa. And so we would go into this little area, and we would, you know, check with the neighbors if they needed anything. Sometimes we would have baked goods to bring them or candy for the kids, and we would do yard work and fix things up for people that needed help, and just blessing the community. And we had several areas we did, but I was in charge of this one. And the pastor pulled up one day, and he made sure to stop me away from the rest of the cars, like on the road before we turned in. And he said, "Hey, come here a minute." He said, "I just wanted to tell you, I am so proud of you and what you're doing." Well, he hugged me, and the hug was very inappropriate.
Brandy, finish reading Carrie's or PB&J.
Continue. A month ago, he described his daughter symptoms, but they didn't get her
That
help.
sounds like fucking Valo people.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like the fucking Valos. They were or what were they? They were zombies or something.
Why does he have the daughter's casket in the living room?
Oh my gosh. His voice was telling her to kill her parents. They did nothing. Oh, I got freaking goosebumps. That is.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, dealing with somebody with schizophrenia is horrifying. My brother has schizophrenia, and it is.
Wow. I tell you, Brandy, I do want to ask you this real quick before I forget. Before your, your incident, your mental incident started, like, did something happen, or did you just wake up one day? Did you notice something was changing in you? Or did something happen that made you start getting depressed and everything? Brandy? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? What the hell? Where did you go? Are you muted? Oh, yep, she fell off. So she freaking leaves me up here all by myself after hearing that. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to know No, she fell off, Carrie. I don't know if something happened to where she felt this, depression coming on, or did she just wake up one day? I mean, because I've got a friend going through a lot right now that I'm going to tell the story someday. Her internet dropped. Okay. Yeah. The ghosts are messing with your internet, Brandy. Because that's scary. That one day you just want to get a divorce, walk away from your kids. That's what happened to one of my friends. She swears up and down something dark took control of her and it changed her whole life. And she walked away from everything. And let me tell you what she says. One day I'm going to get her to tell the story, but she swears up and down that she was possessed by a demon. She would see shadows right before all this happened, and she could feel this man taking over her body. That freaks me the fuck out bad. She even has videos of the shadows and stuff.
Okay.
Gosh, don't do that to me like right then and there.
Like, okay, so what did you ask me? Because literally you said, let me ask you something, and then it just went dead.
Okay, so before this, your mental illness came in effect, did something happen prior, or did you just wake up one day and you wanted to divorce your husband? I mean, was it like weeks prior you felt something changing in you, or?
Yes.
Okay, so like,
for me,
tell me about it.
It was a really weird process. We would notice little things, and like my behavior was erratic. I would be flying high one minute and like can't get out of the bed the next. And crying, like overreacting. I would overreact to the littlest things. It was weird and it was hard, but it gradually came on, but then when it blew up, it was like instant.
That's
it would
scary.
be little things, and then all of a sudden, boom.
So did you have a lot of stress before this, or was everything pretty normal with your life? So could this happen to anybody, or did you? I mean, that's what I'm asking.
No, I think people that deal with mental illness could have this issue. My family has a lot of mental illness. I don't. I mean, it could happen to anybody. I'm not going to say it can't, because mental illness is just a weird thing to try to figure out. But there had been a lot of trauma.
Okay.
In my life.
Yeah.
A lot of trauma. And I don't want to cover that tonight.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just was wondering, like,
that's a little bit heavier than because this is fixing to get pretty heavy with this. And the trauma thing is pretty rough. So, but yeah.
Now, are you sure you're okay with doing this tonight? Now, if you feel like you can't,
no, I can do this tonight. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I talked to Dave about it last night, and we talked a little bit earlier, and he's like, babe, just if you're ready, because I've shared this story some, but I don't want to do both at one time. Woo! No, thank you. And so when the pastor hugged me, his hands kind of traveled a little, and it felt gross.
Oh,
like, wow. It wasn't a hug that, that maybe his hand, sometimes when you go to hug somebody, like your hand will hit a boob or hit a butt, it could be an accident. No, it was gross. And I just kind of pulled away, and I was like, thank you, Pastor. I've got to go. And I took off. So a few weeks later, we were all out. There was a whole group of us at his place building fences for the barn for his horses. and I'm a cowgirl. I'm a country girl. I'm out there. I'm like grabbing fence and pulling, and because my husband knows if I'm going, I'll get in there and work like the guys. I'm not scared. Right, PB&J, you know when it's an accident, and it was not an accident. It was creepy. I mean, it gave me icky vibes. It was bad. And he had somebody come get me to come inside and need to talk to me. And I'm thinking, what the hell now, you know? And we go in and we're all picking at each other, very sarcastic and being silly. And he asked everybody to leave. And I'm thinking, okay, for one, I know this is inappropriate because a male pastor should never have a meeting with a female by herself, especially when both are married. It's not, you know, you've got a protocol you follow. And he said, you would never be with a fat man like me. He was like 400 pounds. He was a big guy. And I just kind of looked at him and I said, what? And he repeated the question. And I said, well, Pastor, I kind of think that's a little inappropriate. I'm married. And I don't think we need to have this conversation. And he said, well, I need you to think about it. And I just kind of looked at him. He said, because, you know, I'm interested in you. And
oh my gosh,
I want this to go somewhere. And I just I'm literally picking my jaw up off the ground. And I'm like, okay, I need to leave. His wife was in the next room. And I just left the room. I just walked out, you know, and I went out and we left. And Dave was gone that weekend. Dave was he was in the reserves, and he was, oh, Carrie, it was awful. Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Carrie, it gets worse. Dave was in the reserves, and so that was his weekend away. And it was the weekend in like a full week. And so there was another couple that I was really good friends with, and they were staying in the apartment that was at the other church building that we had. They were down on their luck. And I went out there and I said, hey, Walter, I've got to go. And he knew. He was like, something's wrong. And I said, I have to go. And I just left. I went home. Well, they stopped by the house and they're like, what's going on? And so I told them what happened. And I said, I don't know what to do because nobody's going to believe me. And he said, I'll take care of it. So he went to the pastor and said, look, if you do not stop, I will go to the board with what happened. Because if that husband, hey, Hemi, he said, if that husband finds out what you just did, he will kill you. You know, and it would have. David would have killed him. David would have flat out put a bullet in his brain. And so they did a whole threat thing, threatened to go to the board. Well, he immediately called the board and had them remove them, and made up lies about what was going on. And before anything could happen. And immediately went to trashing me with the board. And I don't remember all of the stories. There was a lot that was said, and I was very uncomfortable. And so as things rocked along, the next thing I know, my best friend is in marriage counseling with him.
With the minister, the pastor?
With the pastor. And her and her husband had been having issues. Her husband, I mean, she had 3 kids. Her son was a year older than my middle daughter. And then she had twins who were 2 weeks older than my son. So we had triplets. All our kids were like the same age.
Yeah.
And she was overwhelmed and needed help. And he convinced her to leave her husband.
Oh my gosh.
And in all of this process, what we didn't know, we had some lawsuits coming in with some bad dealings where he had done some shady work. And that's a whole other story. But she ended up leaving her husband. The church split. And when it split, for whatever reason, I was still underneath this spell of this pastor. I left with them. There was a group of us that I was very close with. And that's probably why, because it was the people I was close to that he allowed to be close to me, because if he didn't allow you, you weren't friends with people. The people in leadership, he dictated who you were friends with.
Wow.
And we, because they left, I think is why. I think we just felt comfortable. And I didn't understand what was going on. And as we're sitting there and I'm defending my best friend, I'm like, this is not happening. Well, I look up and they're making out at the church. And I said, you two need to stop. Well, we all got pretty ticked off about it because they were putting us in a bad position. She was still married. The children were there. He was still married. This was not okay. And all hell broke loose. We walked away. We walked away from it. And it was really hard to go back to the church, but we knew people that were at the church. The pastors that had taken over, I absolutely adored. No, Hemi, this was back in late 90s, mid to late 90s. And but I'm just giving my story of my relationship with religion and why I don't do organized religion anymore. And so while we're there going back and trying to figure out who we were anymore, it was a struggle. I didn't trust anybody. I didn't trust the pastors. I didn't trust the leadership. I trusted no one. And then to come to find out, the leaders who I'm still extremely close with, they were like, Brandy, why didn't you come to us with any of this? We could have stopped this. I'm like, nobody would listen. I tried. And then y'all were told I was this horrible person, or I was doing this, or I was doing that. And I was isolated from everybody. And so when they look back at it, they're like, yeah, we remember him doing that. You're right. He was adamant about who I was allowed to be friends with. And it took a long time to overcome a lot of that. And what's bad is this idiot, this pastor, loosely termed pastor, is on YouTube preaching.
These days?
Yes.
It ain't this guy that PB&J's talking about, is it?
No. Somebody had told me about it a while back, and I'm like, you're kidding me. So I went and looked.
Does he got a lot of subscribers?
I didn't even look at his subscriber count. I went to look at what he was preaching, because I'm like, if they only knew.
Yeah.
They only knew. He convinced my friend to move from Texas to Michigan twice. And I stood by her. And the last time I looked at her, I said, please don't do this again. Please, I'm begging you. And but I'm like, you know what? I'm your friend and I love you and I'm here for you. I'm not turning my back, but please don't go. And she went. She had a lot. I mean, he was very physically abusive to her. He beat his first wife. He set her up with another man so she would go marry him and leave him, and blamed it all on her. I mean, he was conniving bastard.
Wow.
And my bestie now is married to one of our buddies, our best friends that was in the church. They ended up getting married, and she's got an amazing marriage with an amazing guy, and she is healed and happy, and still deals with a lot of guilt of what she did, what her part and all of that was. We all did. We all had a lot to go through. But these new pastors that took over, we had several that came in and interviewed, and they would do a service, and the board would meet with them, and then we would vote, and we settled on this pastor and his wife, and they're the pastors that are there now, and that's the church that I share, guys. And when I was still going through all of because I'm still dealing with all of my mental health. I had not ever really gotten complete control and help of my mental health. Oh, Hemi, he was awful. He was awful. And I went into their office. We had a meeting because we wanted to talk to him. I needed some help. And I sat down on the couch, and we're sitting there, and he says, okay, what do we need to talk about? And I sat up on the edge of the couch, and I said, well, let me tell you one thing. If you sit here and tell me just to get over it, you and this church can kiss my ass.
Oh my God.
David goes, oh God. And he just kind of looked at me a minute, and he said, well, Brandy, I promise you, I'm not going to tell you that. Now, I'm not going to say we're not going to help you just get over it, but I'm not going to tell you to just get over it. But I can't do nothing if I don't know what's going on. The poor man, I just shocked him. He just didn't even know what to do. But then when we finished sharing everything, later on, his wife told me that she sat and cried for 2 hours because they knew our story was bad, but they didn't know all of it until I shared it. And she was like, I have no idea how they're still here. Why are they still here? We can't hurt them or allow anything to happen because it's a miracle they're even here. Most of these kind of couples would have left. And so, and there are things that they had done even, and I think that a lot of churches do it innocently. I think they think they're protecting their church by saying, don't watch this, don't do that, don't wear this, don't do that. And they forget that it's overwhelming. People go to church
to go to church,
to hear the word.
Yep.
Hear the praise and worship. Let conviction be conviction. If God is going to convict somebody of cussing, drinking, smoking, what they wear, he's going to do it on his time, and let him. When you push people, it gets to be too much. I mean, we left it to our children on the music they listened to. They chose no secular music. Thank you, Hemi. But now they tell me they did it because they thought that's what we wanted. I wanted them to make the choice for them. I did never want to force that choice on my kids. And it bothers me that they thought that was my choice, not theirs. And we've had long conversations over that now.
Yeah.
And now I was kind of funny about, I went through and poured every bit of alcohol out of our house. I went through probably 15 years, 10, 15 years. We didn't have any kind of alcohol.
Wow.
And and some of them will preach against gambling. That pastor, he cracks me up because he'll say, I'm not going to tell you not to gamble. I'm just going to remind you where your tithe goes. You win, remember where that money goes. He's funny, cracks me up. And we've had some funny stories with them, and I adore them. When I went through my health crisis, I had 2 surgeries on my thyroid. We found out that I had cancer. So they did the first surgery, found cancer, went in for the second. That was in June. In September, I had my hysterectomy. And then in the following March, I had my gallbladder surgery. So I had gone through a shit ton of surgeries. I wasn't doing a lot. I wasn't getting around much. And people in the church kind of forgot me. And they were the same people who were my best friends, who I had worked side by side with, who I had made dinners for people that were having surgeries, and I was one of the ones that led the kitchen. I was part of the kitchen crew, and we did the food ministries and everything else. So when somebody had surgery or there was a death, we organized all of that. Well, nobody did that for me. And my son was sitting there and he said, Mama, how come it is you do all of this for these people and there's nobody doing it for you? And that was when it kind of hit me. And that's a people thing. That's not really the church thing. And I went to church on one Sunday, and one of my really good friends, or she was a really good friend, I put her at a distance for a while because of this. But she walked up and she said, well, where the heck have you been? And I just looked at her. And I said, I don't know. Recovering from a few surgeries. I've had the same phone number since like 2000. You could have called me. And this was like 2012. I've had the same phone number. She could have called me. And she was like, oh, well, you could have called me. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the one that had surgery. Where the hell were you? And I just turned and walked away. And it was one of those that I realized quickly that if you weren't the apple of certain people's eye, that others did not kiss your ass or do for you. They were only kissing the rings of certain people. And I sat back and started watching. And I started watching how people behaved in public and how they behaved in front of the pastors. And And I'm not okay with that. I'm the same way when I'm here than I am in front of the pastor. The only thing I do now is I try to make sure I don't drop the F-bomb. I try to be a little respectful. But it was something I sat and watched people being different away from the church than they were in the church. And that becomes a problem. And as I sat back and I started going, you know what? This isn't for me anymore. And that was kind of when we decided. My son told me he wasn't going back. My son said, Mama, I'll never go back. They didn't do for you even half of what you've done for everybody. I won't go back. My aunt actually belongs to an awesome Christian church in Florida. They seem genuine. She's like it and plays the organ and the piano there now. And there are some really amazing churches. And I think of that Cornerstone Church. I share it, so I'm going to say their name. I think of them that way. I love the pastors. And the pastor had called me and he said, hey, you haven't been around in a while. Is everything okay? Because he knows I would get pissed off and just not come. And I said, no, Pastor, I am perfectly fine. I have no issues with you. I have no issues with Melanie. I think y'all are amazing. And I am just learning how to deal with my emotions a little differently. And I'm struggling with the two-faced attitude with people. And so I'm just not going to be around as much as I was. And he was like, okay, I'm here. We're here for you if you need anything. We love you guys. And I'm like, I love y'all. And it's no hard feelings. I'm just different course for me. And that's kind of where we left it. And I really have not been back. And it gives me anxiety to even think about being a part of a religious organization. So for the person with the hypocrite email, I don't have a problem with church. I don't have a problem with God. I just don't do organized religion.
I don't either.
And, and I don't want it stuffed down my throat. And I'm not going to stuff, because my beliefs are a little bit broader than just heaven and hell. And that kind of thing. When I say I pray for you, I'm praying for you. Do I still pray? Yes, I do. Do I also believe that crystals or good energy work and things like that? Yes, I do. Do I have a few other weird beliefs that Christians are going to say, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I do. Because I've sat back and started reading and looking at things. And so I just have a broader view of it. Does it make me right? Does it make me wrong? And like my grandson's getting baptized Sunday. So this is the first time we're going to that church. It is my new son-in-law's dad's church. And I'm struggling with a little bit because I find them to be rude. So it's like, I have to go be nice. I want to be nice before the wedding. I had to hold all that together to be nice at the wedding. Why do I have to do it now? So it's, and so for the person who, if you're being snarky, back at you, buddy, if you were truly asking if I was being a hypocrite and just confused by Matt, that is why. I will never again be a part of a church in a full capacity. Will I go to a service every once in a while? Probably. Haven't in a while. And I don't go to church. I'd probably get into trouble there. Title of their email is ironic. You stopped going to church because of hypocrisy, and then this person tried calling you one. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I haven't talked about this in a while, so it's somebody that's followed me a while. So I'm thinking probably Facebook days. And, or it could be somebody that's involved now that actually knows me, that doesn't like me anymore. That's fine too. You know what? Here's how I'm starting to look at things. I was on their mind enough that they took the time out of their day to email me.
There you go.
So have at it. I mean, bless your little heart. And if you know what that means in Texan, go for it.
Yeah.
So that is just, for me, organized religion can be a problem. Some of it is good and some of it is bad. And the problem with that is you don't know it's bad until it's too late.
Yeah.
And, this man tormented a lot of people, and a lot of people never recovered. There were 25 of us that left, and uh 3 of us went back.
There is a lot of bad preachers, pastors, ministers, whatever you want. You look at the Catholic and a lot of the priests that do what they do to young kids. And then there was something I seen not too long ago about a preacher. He lived across the street, or his church was across from the street from this old couple. And literally this old couple gave them all sorts of money, but it wasn't enough. And he ended up talking this couple into having him be the beneficiary. And then he freaking killed them and got all their money. Well, they caught his ass. Yeah. Talk about sad. See, awful. He befriended them because he knew they had all this money.
Well, like when you look at Andrea Yates, and I don't know if some of y'all might not know who that is. She killed all 5 of her children.
Yep.
She was involved in a very extreme religion. And when you deal with people who are fighting mental illness, especially, those kind of religions are dangerous because of how it plays on how your brain works. And it's a slippery slope, and it just it's aggravating. And
I just hope, I didn't, I guess I was a little naive when it come to mental illness until I got on YouTube. And then of course my niece, after her 3rd child, she had the postpartum psychosis big time. And that's why I think I have taken this Lindsay Clancy, and just my heart. I know that people probably don't think a lot, don't think like me do, but after seeing what I seen my niece go through, it just, I don't know, the Andrea Yates thing, it scares me. And I hope and pray to God. I mean, I hope I know if I'm going into something. Am I going to be able to tell if I'm going?
Oh, you'll know differences. You'll know differences.
Because I'm so thankful. I don't think we all have sad days, and we have good days, bad days.
Right.
We cry.
It's very normal.
I could not imagine not being able to get out of bed, like you were talking about. My heart breaks. Right. And did you have anybody but your husband?
No, there was a time when my kids were young. We were living in Washington State, and man, I was fighting to stay above water. It was bad. There was a time I probably went 2 weeks without a bath.
Oh my God. Well, Brandy, because that's my friend. My friend that I'm trying to help her out. She's been, if it wasn't for her boyfriend, she probably wouldn't even take a bath. I just cannot imagine. And she don't live by me.
My husband was getting ready to go to Afghanistan, and he was 2 hours, hour and a half away. They were locked down, ready to go. And I was in Washington. We had no family. We had no support. And I am in a total meltdown. I am flat out losing it. And I kept hanging up on my husband. I kept hanging the phone up. And I was having a screaming fit. And he got a hold of my daughter, my oldest, and had her go in there. And when she opened the door, I had a handful of pills in my hand.
Oh my gosh, Brandy. And again, I'm going to say this. You dealt with that. Now, what would it have been like if you would have turned on YouTube and somebody was coming at you and bullying you? There are some people that have nobody. They don't have anybody, and it's just the shit that on YouTube has got to stop, because There's a
It
lot of
is-
people that are dealing with
It
depression
is
right
scary. It is scary. I'm struggling going to any channels at this point. It's scary.
now. Yeah, because it
And
could trigger you, couldn't it?
well, not me anymore.
Okay. But it
Last
could
year
trigger
was kind of rough.
someone.
Last year was kind of rough. I'm in a really good place right now.
Well, you have a lot going on. You have a lot of good things going on in your life.
I'm super busy, but my health is getting better, and so I don't have that stress. And I'm trying to stay focused.
Well,
and, you know, last year when all that happened, there was a lot of YouTube drama, and I'm just
Mhm.
it just doesn't have just. But there's other people that it could be affecting. You know what I mean?
know it's affecting other people.
And here's the thing: even the ones that don't like me, and I don't really want to say names.
Exactly,
Hi, bitch.
PB and J. Exactly. It's not if, it's when. It's gonna happen.
Well, we don't know. It could have already triggered us up
Exactly. Yes.
because
it
they're
could
not
have-
coming on here telling us.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it is so. All right, it won't get better. Just have to wade through the bullshit, right? And I walk away. Like
Mhm.
there's creators that I truly enjoy, but because of how toxic it's getting, I have to just walk away and just let it
Yep.
play out, kind of check and see if it kind of calms down and go
Yep.
back or whatever.
Yeah, it's not
But
like we're
even
turning our
those
backs.
ones, you know, there's what 3, 4 if you count Natasha that hate me or dislike me.
I don't think Natasha hates you. I don't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
I don't
that.
know. She's got too much going on with Merb right now.
but like the bitch knows she's been there. That's my girl. We've been
Now,
friends since
is
2019.
this bitch for life or a different bitch?
No, this is a different one. This is
Hello, D bitch. Nice to meet you, the bitch. The bitch. I like it.
She's my girl. She's my
I like her name.
friend.
I love her name. It's like you're saying the bitch.
She's funny. But even them people, I can tell when some of this is getting to be too much for them. And even though I know they wouldn't give me grace, I'm sitting here going, enough. Enough's enough. It's not okay. People, you know, roll it back, guys. Come on. And it concerns me for them. Oh no, I'm not mentioning names. I'm not doing it. But I know that I wouldn't get the same back. You know what I mean? I know that things get clipped and things get said and things will get mentioned and people will laugh about whatever, just like somebody said on their panel and said she needs to take more pills. You know, thank you. It's, okay.
What happened? Somebody said that about you?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
okay. Yes, I remember that. Yes.
And
no, no friend of mine. I thought
right.
no.
And it's like, why be that way? Because you don't like me because I didn't fall for bullshit, or I don't like you, or I said something in a private chat, or just stop. It is, mental health for me, because of the struggles and how I overcome it, has become a passion, and it is something I'm very, very passionate and feel very strongly about.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to let go of the anger at people sometimes, because I know, you and I've had conversations where I've even said I'm worried about her.
Yep.
And
Heck,
I know this is
not
be
too
hard.
long ago, I was literally worried for Lycan. He had so many people coming at him at once, and I know he seems strong, but is he really? It's got to bother him.
Well, even the strongest have weak days.
Exactly. And yeah, the shaming, Carrie. Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like. Here's the thing. I have been, it's been a long time since junior high and high school for me.
Yeah.
Long time, guys. Let's face it. I'm 50. I don't do name calling. I hate name calling. I think it's childish.
Yeah.
If you listen to what Lana said, guys, if you listen to Lana's, not what Lana said, but whoever it was on her panel reading from the judge's words hit me like a ton of bricks.
When?
All of this is sophomoric behavior. Every bit of it.
When was this? When did they read it?
What day did they read that? Monday or Tuesday?
See, I didn't watch it.
It was the court case between her and Lala. And it was
okay. I didn't watch it. I just heard she won.
And it was I was like, see, the judge gets it. She's telling all of us this is absolutely sophomoric behavior and it's wasting court resources. Stop. Just stop. And I'm thinking if the woman was, if the judge, I don't know if it was a woman or man, was listening to some of these lines that go on, Jesus Christ, take a clip channel, let the clips be played, and she's just going to go, they all need to be labeled certified insane. It's crazy. And,
you know, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying the deceitfulness and the manipulation on here is nothing I have ever in my entire 50 years have ever seen anything like it. They manipulate, they lie, and they're so damn good at it.
Right.
Oh, Carrie don't know about the Lana thing.
You didn't hear? You know, Lana took Aunt Lala to court, right?
Oh, now Lala didn't take Lana to court. It was Lana taking Lala?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was the other way around.
The judge sided on Lana's side and ruled that it was, I think it's a CPO or whatever it is, that Lala crossed lines.
You know what? There would be a lot of PPOs on here.
Really?
So there should. I mean, I'm serious. Yeah. Somebody coming at me like some of these people do, that'd be the first fucking thing I did again. I'm done.
Right. Yeah, PBJ, they were. I mean, they're probably sitting there going, what the hell? I mean, here's the thing. I listened, sat in and watched the Parkland trial, nearly the whole thing. And when they were reading off the comments that murderer put on YouTube, and I'm thinking the whole time, my God, why didn't anybody catch it? But then I'm sitting here going, I'm watching shit be said with adults.
Yeah.
And nobody's catching it.
YouTube needs to do better. They've got to do better. I don't know what the frig is happening, but it's bad.
It is. And here's the thing. And I said this the other day over in Kim and Crafton's, and I know this isn't going to be a popular opinion, but guys, it's not just one side or the other. It's both sides that are saying shit that's not okay.
Yeah. Well, last night, Lycan did say, I was really proud of him. He did have a video last night, and he said, everything needs to stop. And he said, I will stop. We will call it a truce and be done with it. Nobody mentioned my name, and I won't mention your name. Then, I don't know, they was all in Natasha's, and people weren't talking to each other, or they were actually not being too bad. There were some comments made.
All of them in that were blocked.
But yeah. And then the first freaking thing, somebody goes up and starts a live and starts talking about Lycan again. It's like, get the fuck over him. Go away. Leave him alone.
Lena, Carrie, I don't think it's called a PPO. I think it was called a CPO.
What's the difference?
Permanent protection order is a PPO, and a CPO is a civil protection order, I believe. And so I think what that refers to is she is not allowed to tag her on YouTube. She's not allowed to interfere with her. I think there's like a distance that's for her and her son. She's not allowed to. I don't remember all of the rules on it, but there were some things that they read out that I didn't know was happening, and Lala's a friend of mine. And so that I was kind of like, oh shit, crap, lovely. Hemi, right? I miss the days when we were on here laughing about silly shit.
Okay,
or, maybe a little bit of calling somebody out on something, and then you're laughing. And now it's just,
it's gone too far. I mean, you know what? I can get over something pretty quick. They say fuck you, I say fuck them, and be done with it. But it's just constant. Okay, PB&J, read that comment.
This one?
Against Lana.
Are you evaluating their decision on the PPO against Lana because of the ongoing harassment? Well, Don't quote me. It sounded something. Yeah, it was. I need to go back and listen to it a little bit more. I mean, I kind of listened to it in a hurry because I want to hear more of what was said.
So what do you mean by reevaluating? Are they might change their mind?
The one that Vanessa has on Lana, they're wanting them to reevaluate that.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay, now I understand. Yeah.
So, I mean, it just,
honestly, I'm going to say this, and I don't know. I know you guys won't get mad at me, but I'm proud of Lana. She really's done good, and she's keeping her mouth. She's doing her true crime. Now, I think, she's got a lot of subscribers, and I don't hear her, which I don't watch her, but I'm happy for her. I mean, I don't know I don't even know Lana. I hear people say things about her, but are those things true? I don't know. I'm just saying I don't hear her doing a lot of drama anymore. So that's a good thing.
I think Lana is trying to go do her channel and do true crime,
yes,
and
I'm
that's
proud
fine.
of her for that.
I think that there were things that happened I don't agree with, and I took issue with. But I know that there were two sides to those stories too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I like Vanessa. I do like her. I really do. I don't know her. I don't talk to her privately, but I do like Vanessa. I like Teresa.
Right, Carrie? Same, Carrie, same. And
Me
I don't know,
too,
sometimes
Carrie.
I have to go, is it two hands? Is it one hand?
Yeah, some weeks it's two, some weeks it's one.
Yeah. There's some weeks I'm like, I don't know about this.
I miss Lindsay doing her freaking Judgment Doll thing. She's, oh my gosh.
Just the funny stuff. Where
her and Lycan up on panel together, you guys.
I could literally to where, yeah, it's ribbing somebody, but it's just innocent, funny bullshit,
Yes. And if people want to get mad over that, whatever. I like to laugh, and that is why I listen.
Lindsay could get up here and give every subscriber $100, and they're going to be mad at her.
Lindsay, yeah, you're right. It's bullshit, and don't even get me started on that.
Yeah,
Lindsay hadn't even been on YouTube, and she was blamed for being an alt. It's like, what the fuck? She hasn't even been on.
It's ridiculous. But for me, because of my history with organized religion and the cult behavior, when I'm on here and you've got creators that are hounding you about other creators' behavior, and you don't go and list, you don't develop an opinion that's your own. You're kind of taking just that person's opinion.
Yeah, they follow blindly.
And then it's an echo chamber. And then you've got people who, if they see you in a chat, they're mad. Or if they see certain people's chat members in your chat, they're mad. And, that it becomes very cult-like on telling people where they can go and what they can do. And my personality, with everything I have been through, when you start that kind of behavior, I'm going to do just the opposite.
Yeah.
And give you two flying birds while I'm at it, because I'm just not going to play. And I don't. I'm just not somebody. I don't want an echo chamber, and I'm not going to be in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And I'm just not. And I mean, Lindsay's a perfect example. I cannot tell you how many times I've told Lindsay I didn't agree. And been at that, and
she never got mad at you.
Never. Well, I mean, we did have one argument that was.
Well, she didn't put your shit out there and go real life and dox you.
And she didn't come guns blazing. It was private, and it stayed private. And she's always said, Brandy, and I said, one of these days you're going to get good mad at me. You're going to share all my shit. She's like, oh, that's never going to happen, because I've really never shared anything with her.
Well, Lindsay could have come at me hard, and she never did. I mean, I said some hateful, terrible things because I thought she was this terrible person. She could have done so much damage to me. Never. She's never even once asked me. She's never, ever messaged me and said, hey, do you got anything good on TT or anything? Never, ever, ever. The only thing she has ever said is, I know what you're going through. TT was my friend too.
Right.
She understands. She is one of the most understanding people on
Vince,
here.
have
If
we
people
ever
would
had an
just give
argument?
her
I'm trying to now.
a
She's got me
chance.
thinking in the chat. We've never argued, have we? Lord, now I'm thinking. Lord, did I tell you how bad the argument was if I don't even remember it? Like, she'll tell me, "Oh, you went there." She'll do shit like that. She's like, "Oh, you went there." Yeah, I did. No, I did. I hurt her feelings one time, and it was a total accident. And it was a group chat we were in a couple years back, and somebody kept going on and on about this other person. Well, I just added the person back in the chat. I didn't think about what had been said and this person being able to see it, and it put us in a bad position. And it was innocent shit. It wasn't dirt, y'all. It wasn't bad. It was bitchy women. We were being bitches. That was it. And it was my fault. I shouldn't have done it. I didn't think about it, but I was tickled to listen to somebody whine and just was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And yeah, she was mad at me for that. But I mean, it was, and I went to her and apologized. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I didn't think. I should have thought, and I'm sorry. And then that was it. That was probably the only argument that we've ever had. I mean, and we're going back, God bless. Dawn, when was that? 3 years ago? And it was. I think we all learned from all of that. And that's what when there's something like that happens, learn from it. Learn and grow. Don't do it again. That way you don't do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to share my little religious cult story with everybody because it's and I'm gonna tell you what, my best friend that ended up marrying the pastor, guys, I didn't even tell this part. Her father was an elder in the church. He was on the board.
Yeah.
So anybody can be pulled by these kind of manipulators.
Oh my gosh, I did. I was manipulated. I admit it. I was very easily manipulated. I thought these people were good people. I mean, but then you start seeing the things, and thank God I stepped back and I started seeing that I'm not seeing this person like this, and I started thinking for myself, and I got out because there is a cult. There's cults on YouTube, big time.
Well, and when you start looking, and I was kind of comparing today, social media cultisms versus real, and there's a lot of similarities. And not all cults tell people to drink the Kool-Aid, but they do make you feel obligated. They do play on emotions.
If you don't, they kick you out of the cult.
Right. They do make you think you have to choose.
Well, of course they do. They do it's not that they make you feel like you have to choose. You better choose or you will be out.
Right.
I mean, that is just plain and simple. You don't follow their beliefs, you're out. If you don't like who they don't like, you're out. It's the way it is. And I'm not going to fucking play that game.
Right. And I struggle with that. Don't come at me because of who I'm friends with.
Exactly.
Now I'm from McCamey Manor, and yes, I was briefly sucked into that world on both sides. It's a crazy story from my point of view. Oh wow, I can only imagine. Because the McCamey Manor stuff, Carrie, those people, y'all make me nervous.
See,
I thought Facebook was crazy, and then I listened to the shit that went on in all y'all's group stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, no.
I honestly didn't even know what it was until somebody told me to go watch the videos and stuff, and that was crazy. The Halloween, the thing that they went through. That's all I know about it. I couldn't even finish it.
Yeah, very much, Dawn. Very much.
Does the DeBitch have a channel?
She has one for her horses, but I don't know that she's put anything on there in a while.
I like
she
horses.
doesn't.
I've
She'll
got
come live
horses.
with me, but I don't know that she used to do a lot of reality TV stuff. She loves to do true crime, but it starts really affecting her mentally.
It does
So
all of us, I think. It
she
really
can't
does.
see. And I would, y'all, I would much rather be talking killers than this drama.
Yeah, I like talking the true crime that nobody else is talking about, like Harry Milligan.
It was really funny the other day.
Gibbs.
We got an interview with an author that just did a Ted Bundy book, and I'm working on an interview of the second author.
Brandy, stop for a second. Stop. I talked to Bob Bragg, and he's the first. He's the author that wrote The Solder Kids. And he is willing to do an interview with you. And I'm Chaos Divers. I will be with them tomorrow. And I think we're doing an interview and a live tomorrow afternoon because they have to leave tomorrow night. But I'm going to ask them about an interview with you. But Bob Bragg, I've got his phone. I've got everything. So I already talked to him. And if you do want to do the Solder Kids, Joe Solder said he would come on your channel too.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely. Well,
so
let's after
I wanted to say that.
After next week, let's talk.
Oh, Carrie, yeah, it's sad. Harry's it's sad. It breaks my heart.
But she secured this other interview and she was all excited, and she called me. She had called the other, her partners, and then she was like, "Y'all are not very excited." And they're like, "Well, I mean, it's good." She's like, "Oh, fuck y'all." So she calls me and I'm like, we're both like, "Oh my God, we're going to talk about it." We're going on about serial killers because that's my jam. I am fascinated with serial killers. Why somebody can kill that many people, it just, the whole thing of it. I mean, so we literally like a 4-hour conversation and we were in a serial killer rabbit hole, and it's hilarious. And I'm like, I would much rather do that. It's just hard to find a lot of channels that keep doing just good true. I don't like current cases.
You should do a video like so many episodes and get into the Jeffrey Dahmer and get into of his mental.
It's a plan.
And that John, who was the other one? That John Gacy. Oh my God.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yes. Them two.
I love talking about all of them, but I'm going to tell you what, a few of them that I really like are the ones that nobody's really talking about, because like Anthony Soul floors me. Like, oh my God, like how nobody caught on to this.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And
yeah, I thought you were going to.
Oh, I am.
I started reading up on it, and then
behind it, my heart always. See, this is and like right here, Carrie, school shooters, mass shooters. I am absolutely drawn to those cases, and it's weird. It's a weird obsession. Like I watch everything on it, and like the Santa Fe high school shooter. And I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and do this. My niece was a senior at that school, and that day something happened. She was late going to school and wasn't there when the shooting happened. And so when I heard about it, I'm trying to get a hold of her daddy to make sure she's okay, and I can't get a hold of nobody. So I'm in literally meltdown mode, thinking something could have happened to my niece, and come to find out she wasn't there, thank God. But then if you watch American Idol, one of the contestants that made it through was in the classroom that day, and one of his best friends was killed. So it's like, and now the shooter they're bringing him back. They've had him on a mental hold and evaluation, and they're wanting to do another one on him to make sure, to see if they can even do trial with him. And it's like, okay, I'm going to have to cover this case. And it's like, I have talked Parkland, and I can still talk Parkland. Parkland, it is crazy. I've talked the Crumblies, the Crumbly kid. What is his first name? Crap, I don't remember what his first name is. That just happened last year or the year before. And I am fascinated with those kinds of cases because we miss the signs. We've learned nothing since Columbine. Columbine happened years ago, and what was it, 20, we're how many years now? Lord Jesus. 26 years ago? And we've learned nothing? Was it 26 years? I think it was 26 years ago, and we've learned nothing. Ethan Crumbley. Thank you, Carrie. I was like, what the hell is this? I knew it was an E, and I'm like, is it Edward? It didn't sound right. Yeah, it was it 99? See, I'm like years start blending, but we've learned nothing. We've learned nothing since Columbine. We've learned every year we have another school shooting and multiple school shootings, and nothing changes. Why? Why is that? That's where my fascination goes. And then I want to figure out why. Why the hell? And I've actually been close to 2 mass shootings now. I've got my niece at Santa Fe, and then we've got the mass shooter that happened in West Texas when we were there. Literally, the only reason we weren't in the area where he was shooting was I had a migraine that day and asked everybody if it'll let me lay down for 2 hours and then we would go. And that was the only reason we weren't in the area when the shooting happened. So, yeah. So now I've got like 2 mass shootings that I'm closely tied to that are like insane.
Wow.
But yeah, those are the kinds of cases I like to talk about. I'm totally into those.
Some of these people I've never even heard of.
Oh.
Please.
Yeah, this is the rabbit holes I fall down.
Wow. Well, I know that one young one, that kid, that's a freaking rabbit.
Oh, the little one, the youngest serial killer. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about, I have all the stuff still. I
know. I literally freaking purged watching the videos because you were going to do a live and then we never did. So now I'm going to have to rewatch them so I don't forget.
Yeah, I have it all. I just need to. I've still got everything saved in my StreamYard too, so I can just pull it up. I was like, I was going through, so I'm like, oh wait, don't delete that one. That's part of that case.
I gotta check out the Randy Stair one or whatever.
Yeah, that one that PB&J shared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know if anybody can hear it. My little baby ducks are in there squawking like crazy. I don't know what they want. They had water. I bet they played all in that water. And it's everywhere, and they're out, and they're telling me they need more water, and they're not getting any more. It's bedtime.
Your ducks are squawking, and my labs are outside barking, and my cavapoos whining.
Funny story with baby ducks. When you start feeding them like people's food, like salads and stuff, like you start with peas, like you would babies, like the smashed up peas, and you give them like lots of water, like you make it really watery. And then, because they'll take their salad stuff and they get it in the water and swish it when they eat it. So they're in there and I give them their little soup of peas and they see the bowl and they come running. They're so stinking cute. And they're smacking in it. And then they go to their water and they're like literally going in the water. And I am in there laughing. I spent 30 minutes laughing at the damn ducks today.
Oh, I could watch that video you posted of them. I don't know how many. I mean, my gosh, they are so damn cute.
I'm going to have to film them eating because it's the funniest thing listening to them making all the noises.
Are you posting like videos of them on your TikTok or anything?
No, and I need to.
You should, because people would love that.
I've got to get Jovi barking at me because he literally stands behind me with his ball barking until I look at him and then he pounces at me. And he wants me to play is what it is. Oh my God, here comes Ozzy. Jesus Christ, nothing like a pug. And Dawn, tell Annie to come get her dog.
Oh my God.
I keep telling David I'm putting him in his suitcase so he can go with him. He's like, no, I'm not taking him with me.
Oh, that is funny.
Yes, PB&J, they have to have, and I didn't realize that. And I'm like, why are people putting all the little salad pieces in buckets of water? And that's because they need the water however they eat, it helps them process their food. And it's the cutest thing listening to them smacking in that water.
Oh, it is.
They eat their little pea slushy. And then, like, I got a really cute video the other day of the blind quail, Zoe, doing her little thing and talking to me. And so, yeah, I need to start posting all that kind of stuff on TikTok. Gosh. Because they're absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, those people would love them.
Y'all know how my husband found out I got ducks? that same video the rest of y'all saw. I sent it to him, and he was like, "Really, babe?" And I went, "But baby, if you would have sat here and seen the laugh that I have and the giggles I have going on, you would not think twice." And he was like, "Oh, I bet I would." Poor man.
My gosh.
He literally found out I had ducks like everybody else.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, "I can't even be mad at you because this is just, I'm used to this by now, but I can't even be mad at you." I'm like, "But before you leave next week, I need this and this and this done." He's like, "Oh, see, you get the ducks and I get to work."
Oh, geez.
And I said, "Wait till you see how cute they are. You won't think that way." And he was like, "Yeah, they're not that cute." I'm like, "Oh, trust me, they're that cute." Oh, Dawn, it's a mess. I have eight, and right now 12 baby quails. I had 12 quail hatch. I have one egg left. We're waiting to see if it hatches. But yeah, I've got 8 ducks, the 12 baby quail, Zoe the blind quail, the 2 chickens, and then I don't even know how many quail are in the big pens. I don't know. I think I have 30, I think. Lord, I don't know. Who knows at this point? Who knows? But yeah. And a partridge. I need a partridge and a pear tree, and then I'll be complete.
You'll have one. Yep. You'll have it all. I guarantee it.
And y'all wait. I'm going to share. I have a love bomb coming. I just have to say it. I have a love bomb coming because TCA sent me a present, and I'm calling it the love bomb.
Oh, jeez. Well, you know, as they say, I love bomb, and I have to pay for my friends on here. Gosh.
Wait, look, like after what we heard yesterday, we have the wrong friends. Sorry, guys. I love all of you, but we have the wrong friends. None of y'all are dropping $12,000 into my account. I'm just saying.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I'm not even greedy. Like $100. I mean, shit.
I can't even get somebody to donate $1 to the Harry Milligan Fund.
Dawn, which feathers do you want? Quail feathers, duck feathers, chicken feathers? What kind of feathers you want? And I got quail feathers. I'll send them to you. Send me address. Oh, PB&J, I love the damn ducks. And I got the Indian runner, so they walk like penguins. So they're freaking adorable. But yeah, we have the wrong friends. I'm just saying.
Yep. I can tell you this much. I don't even know how I would feel if somebody would. I don't think I could accept it.
I don't either. Like, I mean, granted, she asked for the money. I would not ever ask for that kind of money because that's just insane.
I would feel guilty asking for freaking $5 or $1 even.
Right. It's like, oh my God. Like, you know, the few times and things have run low and I've needed like a bag of cat food, and it's like, I'll tell you know, there's been times I'll text my daughter, "Hey, you got $20? Payday's in like 3 days. I ran out of cat food." You know, and that still feels like shit. And of course, I didn't do that in a while, but you know, things like that. My God, I couldn't imagine needing $4,000 for a car, $100 for an Uber. I mean,
Jesus.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, frig.
I just.
I think they're living better than me.
Well, you know what, and I hope to God the people that gave and they had extra to give and didn't take from their own funds because they felt, because I do know of people that have done that. There are people that will give because they feel so pulled,
you know,
to give, and they sacrifice their own. And I hope that isn't what happened.
Well, yeah, because they give you these sob stories and it freaking breaks your heart. And then I learned my lesson. Let me tell you, because I'm done with the bullshit and the manipulation. I mean, they can freaking lie like no other.
That's why if I'm going to give to somebody's PayPal pool or in a super chat or whatever, I'm giving the amount that I know is not going to hurt me.
Well, exactly. And I'm
Because if
giving
it
it
ends
because
up being they're lying and bullshitting me, you know what? I'm out $10. You
yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
not like they have no food or whatever.
Right.
I
It's
give
not like I'm looking going, you know what, if I don't pay $100 on my electric bill, I can double up next month, so I'll just give them $100. No,
yeah,
I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not hurting my bank account in
yeah.
order to give to anybody else. And
I
I
mean,
just hope
times
that
are tough
they
these
are.
days. I mean, this world's scary when you pay freaking $5-6 for.
They do, PB&J. They absolutely do, because there are people on here that
Yeah,
really could use help.
yep.
Um,
I mean, and they are the ones that sit back and won't say a word. And if they do, I mean, I remember Brandy, you were going to get that machine. I'm like, you ought to start a PayPal, whatever. She really needed that freaking machine,
and
for your
and then
needs.
nobody wanted to donate to it, and that's okay.
I
You know,
did. Shut
we
up.
did. I had two donations, and well, I had three. Sorry, I had somebody that cash at me, because they didn't want to put it on PayPal. They didn't want somebody to see it, because they one of those pools you can pull it up to see who's given. I had a PayPal. I had yours. I think you gave on that, and then two other people. One did Cash App, and one did a regular PayPal, but they didn't want it on the fund because they didn't want their name seen. And I'm like, that's fine. Thank you. And eventually I'll get the bike. Right now, it's kind of being put on hold while we get through the wedding. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you've got, which I don't even know the whole situation. I just know what I've seen on YouTube, like with To the Moon, needed that money. People donated. I did not donate to that fund, that one. And then she was up and gone. I don't know if I mean, I know it was a good thing that she shut her channel down, but did she ever tell anybody that did donate to her?
As far as I know, no.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't know. She could have, because I didn't
Well,
donate. She didn't know me
that's why when
nothing.
that started going down, I told you I
Yep.
wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I
when
did
things
not.
started getting sketch, I'm like, Allison, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I know, yeah, Dawn's wanting some Yellowstone cups. Yeah, and Carrie, some people just donate it. For one thing, it gets to be too much. And then I felt guilty when I did mine. I didn't want to do it. I'm like, I just feel guilty. There's so many people asking for money, and I don't want to be that person.
But you got to understand, Brandy, this is different. This is your health,
It is.
And then you've got people just donating, starting PayPals for stupid stuff, which I'm going to say it, and I don't care. I know I make them mad, but that's bullshit.
Well, when I did the one in 2021 for my knee surgery, and DTOS shared that one, I messaged them and said, hey, I have receipts for what money came in and where I put that on my bill. Do you want it? And they were like, I don't think anybody's asking for it. You're fine. And I'm like, if anybody wants it, I'll share it. I want them to know it went towards this. And they were fine with that. If you want people to fund things, be accountable. Just be legit, because then it helps other people. But
well, yeah.
I mean, there's so many times that you're not going to be legit with it that people are going to quit giving. But it does hurt other people. Like, people don't want to give when others ask for money or ask for help, because
I give when I want and when they deserve it.
Right.
I used to do it when they made me feel bad for them, and that will never happen again. Unless I know the person. Yep, it's done. Lycan's in here. Oh, no, he's not. I'm on the wrong freaking, dang it. My phone went to that's weird. My phone went to Broken Justices because I'm on my laptop and so I can see the comments because.
Oh, they went live early.
Did they? I didn't even know they were.
I didn't either. They usually go kind of 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
Thank God I didn't say, hey, Lycan. But I did say, hey, Lycan's in here. So I guess it's the same thing. Yeah, I don't know why my phone did that.
Yeah, PB&J, and I try not. I mean, there have been times I've said something about it publicly for the different fundraisers. I try not to, because in the end, people are going to give their money where they want to give it. And so I try to make sure I check myself when I do that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that sometimes it gets outrageous and it's like, come on.
I think people donate to some of these people. I'm not saying in this community, but I've seen a lot of people donate a lot of money, and it makes me feel bad because are they taking their, how do we know they're not taking their Social Security money and their disability money because they don't have a family or they don't have friends? That's what makes me sad.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. PB&J. That pisses me off. They can go ask money for vacations, whatever, and then sit there and downgrade someone if they start a PayPal for something very serious. Oh, that just gets to me.
Carrie, I hope he finds you a car. I want to get another truck. I want to get a truck so bad, but we're upside down in our car. So, and it's just a couple years old. So I'm trying to, because once, we'll have this house paid off in 4 years, and then all we'll have is a truck note.
See, I went and got my oil changed the other day in my truck, and I had them just write me out a quote just to see what they would give me for it. And I thought, well, maybe I'll trade for a car. It's easier on gas because I've got a big old freaking Toyota Tundra.
Hemi, you are a huge help. I've seen you. You help everybody.
Hemi,
you have a big heart.
He has helped and he has been hurt. Hemi has a very good heart. Anybody hurts Hemi, I will hurt them.
And Hemi stays very neutral. He doesn't.
He does.
And I like that. And I respect that. I respect the people that just stay neutral. Just go and enjoy the content and the creator and stay out of and that's really kind of where I'm at. I'm wanting to be that. Because
I will not go into some people.
The hate is overwhelming, even for my friends, guys. If I don't know if any of them are watching, I think they're all live right now. The hate is getting to be a little much.
It puts a shadow over you. I mean, it really does. I try to be a happy-go-lucky person, and some of the stuff on here, I think I get stressed over because I'm afraid that somebody's going to be hurt. I know Lycan's strong, but I worry about him sometimes because a person can only be so strong and take so much. See, your dog freaking agrees with me.
Who run your buzzer, Coop? He literally is confused. I guess he was sound asleep and dreaming, and he barked, and he's looking around like, who did that? It was him.
My little Cavapoo, she stands in front of the freaking window, Brandy, and barks at herself, at her own shadow. Literally will growl and bark thinking there's another dog out there.
No, Dawn, that was Cooper. Ozzy he's laying in the middle of the floor. He's scratching his dick. Like literally. So I need to video this because nobody believes me. He takes his paw and runs it down his business to scratch. It is hilarious. You know what? If you want to laugh, get a pug.
I'm not even kidding. Right now, you freaking video that sucker and you put it on TikTok, you'll become TikTok famous.
Oh my God. Ozzy needs his own social media because he is just comical.
I love watching TikTok videos of animals. Dogs, oh my gosh, I love them. There's this one guy that has a squirrel as a pet, and that squirrel, let me tell you, is his baby. Goes everywhere with them. Oh my gosh, it is so funny.
I miss my squirrel. Oh, my squirrel was so much fun.
Then there's a monkey, which I told you the monkey story when I was a kid. We had a monkey. It sat on the freaking edge of the couch and jacked off and then shit in its hand and threw it at us. He was a gross little fucker.
My grandmother had a monkey that when we were eating dinner around, be around the table eating, he would get on everybody's shoulder and he'd be going through your hair, picking out, I guess, bugs. I don't know what he was picking out, but he would pick out stuff out of our hair and eat out of your hair while you were eating dinner. It was gross.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Part of the chaos. sometimes. Hold on, let me pull this up so I can read it. I don't know enough about Lycan to make an honest say. I feel he does choose to be a part of the chaos sometimes, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't watch him. I've heard good things and bad things about him. I can agree with that, Carrie. And I like Lycan. It just comes to a point.
But
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with it, guys. I'm just overwhelmed.
Now, is he going back and forth, or is he defending himself? I mean, there's some people, like I've had people at me and I let them say what they want to say. I keep my mouth shut because no matter what I say, they're going to twist it and fucking turn it. And they're not going to like me anyway. And their subscribers, if they want to blindly follow liars, then whatever. But
here is what I said on Kim's panel the other day, or maybe I was in the chat when I said it. You know, because me and Lycan had that big argument because I was asking a question about the stuff going on with him and Jess, and it was I think it was the question was, is the photo you're talking about the one she sent to Kim, or did she send it to that person? I don't remember exactly how I asked it, and he got very angry with me and he called me a name and bitch for life.
There she is. There's the bitch I know.
This day, and she was like, Lycan, don't say that. She's nice. She's my friend. Don't be that way. Because he was like calling me all kinds of names. And I'm like, dude, fuck you. Yeah. And I just walked away from it. And later on, as things progressed and I learned some other things and then just got mad at me, I was like, well, fuck it. Why am I defending you if you want to be this way with me? And I didn't agree with all of it anyways. Well, then, and I told Lycan, I said, I'm sorry that you took it the way you did. I didn't mean it the way it come out, and I'm sorry. And what I see with him is, because it comes so hard at him, that they do come hard at him. And I'm sorry if you're showing my private parts around. I'm probably gonna be pissed off too. Mm-hmm. And if you're talking about my cooch, I'm going to be pissed off too. So I get both sides of that. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just do. And so I don't want to judge him on how he reacts to people. Mm-hmm. But you also, at some point, you're participating more than...
Well, one needs to stop.
Right.
He did say he wanted it to stop. I don't know. I guess if it was me, I would just stop, but I don't have all these people coming at me now, thank God.
I'm like, I know Lindsay, so I'm going to stick up for her more because she is my friend. Maybe he just defends. This is also how he makes a living. So again, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I know Bitch for Life and the Bitch had like similar names, so it's like.
Well, he probably was at the time, Carrie.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. He is a man child. I mean, they're all man childs. I mean, it happens.
Oh, it's awful, PB&J. It's just gross. I mean, every video you turn on.
Well, and I said the other day, I'm like, I need to make a meme Mark safe from seeing Jamie's peen. Because thank God nobody sent it to me. If anybody sends it to me,
at least he laughs about it. He makes his own jokes, calls him Little Peanut. And
I think all of that's a little obsessive. I think it's so high schoolish and great. Not even high school, it's junior high. That, stop and do some self-reflection. I mean, it's one thing to do it like once because you're angry, and you react and you say all this stuff, but then just stop after that. Because it's not a good look.
And you're right, PB&J. It seems like every live, it's just stupid. Yeah.
And right, bitch, right, Steph. I'm gonna have to call because I'm not gonna get confused. I got two bitches in my chat.
Bitch one and bitch two.
It is a lot. And at what point do you expect somebody to stop? I mean, or to just it's like, if I could get on here and beg them all to just stop and it work, I would.
Oh, me too, Brandy. Me too. Yeah. Well, actually, I did a long time ago. I went into somebody's chat and I'm like, maybe one of you guys need to be the bigger person. And I got cussed out and blocked.
Yeah.
So that didn't work.
They don't neither react well to it. But you know what? At the same time, I'm not in their shoes getting it coming at me. So I'm going to be the devil's advocate. Y'all know I'm not afraid of Jess. I'm not a supporter of Jess. Even though she's giving it just as good as she's getting it, she's still getting it. You know what I mean? And God forbid, you know, they go at Lindsay nonstop and she say one thing and they lose their minds. Mm-hmm. So Amy wants to be a bitch too. And so I wish I knew how, because here's the thing. People can say what they want to say about me. I am a helper and I'm a fixer and I'm a peacemaker, peacekeeper. I want to help everybody come to a happy medium and fix things. And I don't know how to do that. And I know that it wouldn't be reciprocated. Or
you can't do it alone, Brandy. There's no way.
It wouldn't be received well. None of them would receive it well. And then again, and nobody's going to listen. I mean, honestly, are they? You know? And they're adults.
Yep.
They do PB&J. And then sometimes, I'm going to be honest, it's more twisting than a lie. On most of what I've seen and how I see it, and I could be wrong, but I feel like things get twisted, and a word game gets played. We're not going to play word salad and word gaming. You know, you said what you said. And
I've seen people blatantly lie, twist, turn every freaking word, every scenario. Damn, they're good. They can come up with some dandies.
And at what point in the communities, guys, and Steph, with you here too now, at what point both sides, you know, at what point are we going to even hold our own side accountable? But then I some stuff I read today about cults. I'm like, I don't want to say this side and that side, because that's a cult term. That is a cult term. That side and this side is a cult term. And so that bothers me to even say that now. And right, Carrie, we can't have a debate with everybody screaming. We can't get on here and have a good, honest discussion and agree to disagree and just move on.
Yeah.
The ones who block quick are lame, right? I haven't blocked very few. I don't even know if I have any blocked, honest. Uh-oh, here she comes. Wait, is that you, Steph? Hold on.
Be careful.
Okay, it's her. I was supposed to put my screen up.
I don't even have my glasses on. I'm getting ready to put my makeup on for work. So, and that's why I jumped up here, because it's easier, because I can multitask this way. If I can talk. Don't laugh. Not laughing at you, just laughing with you.
Right. I got new glasses the other day, and I've been struggling to get used to them.
So, you know, I had every ounce of me, every plan in me to go live this week, you know, but I've been rehashing, you know, the conversation with you, you know, and it's the same words of wisdom that I try to give to others. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just been eating away at me. And as you know, here it is Thursday, still haven't gone live about it. I did go live earlier for a few minutes because I was fuming about another problem, like IRL problem. And, you know, I mentioned on that live, you know, that I said I was going to go live and that I had every plan to do it. But when it's like you just said, when do you stop? When does it stop? When does somebody be the bigger person, stop responding and just let it die out because you don't respond? They got nothing to come back at you with.
Right.
And, you know, I said, I told a friend of mine, obviously you, I said on my panel earlier, I told a friend of mine, I'm going to make this one response. And then for you, I won't do it. No more. But then I got to thinking, I'm like, why do I even got to make that one response?
Right.
Because at some point you have to just realize these people can sit on here and they can talk and they can talk and they can talk all they want. If they don't know you.
Right.
Really, they don't know
Well,
the real you unless, like me and you, we know. I know you, you know me. We've talked.
Well, and that's what I said on
years.
Kill. They don't know your life. They don't know the shit you've been through and what you pulled yourself out of.
Exactly.
And
Like,
that I have an issue with. I have a huge issue.
Well, I just figure at this point, I said, you know, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna let it lay doormat. She's got one time to do what she said she was gonna do. When it come to my kid, she's got one time to do it, and her response will be there. But until then, I'm not gonna feed into her semantics.
Right.
You know? I'm not gonna play that back and forth, tit for tat, the response you want, because I've told people, you know, don't do that. Don't play into that. That's all they want.
Right.
So what kind of fool would, you know, the more I thought about it, that makes me look like a fool just sparking up a live, you know?
Well, because it just becomes a back and forth tit for tat and it just keeps spiraling.
Yeah. And it will never, ever end.
Because as they call it, it's a drama community. We're not even drama anymore at this point.
Listen.
It's drama.
I'm just going to start firing up my channel, doing open panels, and just whatever happens, happens.
Right.
Everybody's welcome.
We've got the wedding this next week, and I keep bringing that up because y'all, Lord God, I don't know what I was thinking Sam's going to do the groom's cake. Anyways, and then my husband's leaving. And then I have got a shit ton of content to put together and 2 professional-looking shows to put together that aren't YouTube shows. You know, they're actually going on TV. So I've got a shit ton of stuff to do, and it's like I don't have time for this anymore. I'd like to come on YouTube and enjoy being on YouTube with people.
Yeah.
And how do we get there? How do we get there as a community other than just stopping our part? You know what I mean? We're only responsible for us. And by the way, if you're watching and have something to say, the link is pinned. Oh, Dawn, it's insane. It just, and I've let myself slip into it, guys. I'm just as guilty of slipping into it and needing to argue with people. And
well, it's just, you know, especially when they bring up the kids and they I mean, that's one way to get under a mother's skin right there.
Right.
And they know it.
Especially somebody you don't even know, like the whole, and like you said, I went back and watched Red Kim's live that night that you got on panel over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, because I legit like teared up because I'm like, if anybody, you know, you do know me, and you're like, no, just I'm not going to say her story, but I'm going to tell you that's not the story. That's not how it happened. You guys don't know. You guys were there with me through a lot of that.
Right. And I almost flipped and told the story. I'm like, oh, shut up. No, you can't do that.
And honestly, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared because I trust you to put it out there in a way, in a meaningful way, not, you know, because you were there for me through that. You guys were there, you know, you guys witnessed a lot of that.
Right.
So I wouldn't have cared, but I mean, it's just the simple fact that people out here, they can think they know what they're talking about, but you know, until you live a day in my life, you don't know, and you don't know the decisions I've had to make as a mom that would benefit not me, but my kids.
Right.
Because I mean, everybody falls upon hard times.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes is one hard time in order for you to, if you were a good, decent mom, you want the best for your child.
Right. Well, and I always think of it this way. If I am judging a mom or anybody for
they don't come out the hospital with a handbook
or whatever their circumstances are, then that opens me up to fall into those same kind of situations. Right. And who am I? You know what I mean? Who
And they don't send you home with the baby with a fucking handbook.
Right.
A fucking home a for sure lifelong home to have at the same time. You know, they don't send you home with a nice paying job to support this baby.
We aren't truly totally equipped to even navigate life and know exactly the right choices.
Yeah. To navigate the dang choices for a baby, you know, they're like, oh, you had a baby, here you go home.
Yeah.
Have fun. See ya. Never. Don't bring that thing back here because we don't want it. Shit. I mean, when I went into the hospital a few weeks back with the kidney stones, I thought I was having another fucking kid. I told that nurse, I said, and I don't want it. You can have it.
Oh, kidney stones are awful.
Oh my gosh,
I get them.
I don't know what's coming out of me, but if it's a baby, I don't want it.
My God, that was the worst. I thought I was dying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God,
I thought I was dying. Like, oh my God, I don't even wish a kidney stone on my enemy. I just wouldn't.
You know what the sad thing is I finally got a night away from everybody. Got me I drove to about 45 minutes south to another hotel, got me my own room, nice room. I planned on going live, having a live, getting in the jacuzzi tub, relaxing for the night. I ended up in the fucking hospital.
Oh no.
That would be my luck.
Luckily, I made that drive before the pain started, and I was 10 minutes from the hospital instead of 45 from my original place.
Oh God.
I was so thankful because I was by myself and I had to drive myself in. And that's
jeez.
I couldn't get there quick enough because whatever was coming out, it was coming out, and I didn't want it.
Yeah. It's painful. It's terrible.
When I had mine and I was fighting with them to figure out what was going on, the hospital was so incompetent. Oh my God, they had me. They had everything confused, but they sent me home with pain medication, and and I go get the medicine, and then I get home and I'm just miserable. And Dave's working. He was on a truck then, so he wasn't able to just stay home. And I take the medicine, and it totally reacted with the kidney stones. So when I call, and I'm like, I thought I was dying. And I'm like, oh, my apartment's locked to a point where nobody's getting in. You can't get in. All the major locks were done. I didn't know how I was going to get an ambulance there. They were like, well, just call the ambulance. I'm like, what did y'all give me? Come to find out, I don't remember what the pain medicine was. It's one that if you have a kidney stone issue and they give you that, it does damage. So like I was sick. I was puking. It was bad.
It was horrible. Like I legit checked into the dang thing, got to setting up my computer, and I thought, oh man, my stomach hurts. I'm just gonna use the bathroom and then I'm gonna go live. Oh no, fuck that. Like I legit packed my shit back up and went out that damn door, gave back my key, said, I don't know if I'll be back, but
now
I called this hospital and complained to their upper management. And they're like, well, their doctors were brought in from like other organizations. They weren't even a part of the hospital. I'm like, yeah, I won't go back to that hospital.
Yeah, right. It was. I was thankful for the hospital I went to. I ain't never been to that hospital a day in my life. I didn't know where it was. I GPS'd it.
The doctor that I started using for my back last year, that I spent like $4,000, something like that on different testing and all this stuff. And then he was like saying it was this and going to send me to this other specialist, and because he couldn't figure it out, and it ended up being something totally different. So like the insurance had paid all this, and every time you go in, they're like, this is what you owe. Here's your copays. Here's your deductible. Da 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 da. We get it all paid. I have zero balance. Yeah, they sent me a bill the other day, and it's for $70, guys. Okay, it's $70. I could pay that $70, right? I called them back and said, what is this for? All my stuff was paid. And they're trying to tell me it's left over from the bill. And I'm like, no, we paid that. And so as I'm discussing with them, I'm like, look, here's the thing. Technically, I should be filing a medical malpractice on you. And I just start laying it into them of what doctors at the orthopedic group found and what they did and how they fixed things and all this stuff. And I'm like, and you were telling me of something totally different and wanting all this extra money. And I paid all this. So if we really want to go this route for $70, I'm calling my insurance and I'm filing medical malpractice. She says, hold on just a minute. And she comes back. She says, Mrs. Jolly, we're going to write this off and you don't owe this amount. And we're really sorry about all the confusion. I'm like, yeah, I thought so.
I thought you'd see it my way.
$7
Yeah, no kidding. I thought you would see it my way.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandy, I'm
Yes.
going to hop off of here. Sorry. You can, I got to go get my puppy, take her outside
Okay.
and go check on my other 2 dogs outside.
All
And
right,
then
thank you.
I'll be listening. Okay.
Thanks for
Nice
coming
to
in.
see you, bitch for life. And
Yeah, you
thanks
too,
everybody in the
Suzanne.
chat.
Listen, we got to get another night with Florence.
Oh, you know what? She is starting to feel better. We were
Yay.
just talking about that the other day. So I've been telling her and we'll get there. I promise.
Yes, we got to have her on your channel. We got to have her on my channel.
Yep.
We got to have her on everybody's.
Yeah, she's hilarious. Jesus.
I
To
guess
me,
That's-
that's when you laugh.
single fathers deserve a whole nother award.
Yes, I
My
agree,
brother
Hemi.
was a single father, and he raised my nephew by himself. Literally worked on a shrimp boat and would wrap him in life jackets and duct tape in case something happened while they were shrimping while he was a baby until my mom found out and we started taking care of him. But yeah, single fathers are bad to the bone. And I don't think they get enough credit.
Yeah, I give Hemi props being a single dad. Shit, that's hard. That's hard work. I mean,
is
even
hard.
being a single mom. I mean, like I said, they don't send you home with a fucking handbook. I mean, this is how you do it. This is how you change a diaper.
Right.
No, you're on your own. You're like, bye.
Well, now they were a little more careful when I had my first, but I was just 16 when I had Heather. So it was a little bit different and they knew my mom was coming. And so they were kind of worried. Of course, my ex had already caused issues at the hospital and I didn't know all this at the time. And so they didn't want me taking the baby home with him. And when they wouldn't let me go in there to get my baby that morning, I threw a fit. And I mean, I let loose. And so my mama got there. I was worked up and she was like, what is going on? And so she went in there and talked to them and she assured them she was taking the baby home. So that was the only reason they let me leave the hospital with my child was because my mom was going with me.
Right. It's so crazy, man. Listen, I don't know. Listen, we both even have the same spelling, Dawn. You got to change up the spelling or something. Because I'm like, I see bitch is spelled my way, but then I look up and I'm like, fuck, that's her way too. So is he talking
When
about,
she comes in, when either one of
about-
you come in, I have to look closely to make sure which one it is.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is he talking to, because I see bitch, she works hard for her kids. And I'm like, is he talking about Dawn or is he talking about me? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, if anybody knows me on these streets, they know I'm either momming or I'm working. And half the time I'm momming and working because he goes to work, like he will be here shortly with me until dad gets home, because yes,
And
he goes to school Monday through Thursday. Today was his final
he
day
was
for the
talking
week.
about you.
He's gonna be up tonight. Mom's gonna go to work and he'll be up with dad because he doesn't get to see dad all week. So yeah.
Well, I was explaining to somebody this week that basically my life right now is I'm basically a single mom, even though my children are grown, but I have all the fur babies. And because my husband's away working a lot now. So I mean he's gone working probably 9 months out of the year right now.
Yeah.
So when he's not here, it's all on me. All of the animals, all of the house, all of the cooking, all of the cleaning, all of the errand, everything's on me. Everything. So
well, that's like me, like if I'm not working, then when I get home, he's going to school. The son is, and dad takes him to school, but that's like 5 minutes a day that his dad gets to spend with him compared to me having a mom all the rest of the day when he gets out of school.
Mm-hmm.
And then work all night, And I have insomnia. And if anybody knows, like those that have insomnia, if I get more than 6 hours of sleep, please don't let me try. I try not to get more than 4 because I will be a royal bitch. A royal bitch. You will know. And not only that, I won't even want to get out of bed.
Oh,
Don't make
girl,
me get out of bed.
I have to get my sleep. I have to get sleep. But with Dave gone, I'm probably in bed by midnight, going to sleep about midnight, in between 12 and 1, but I'm up at 7, 8 o'clock. I mean, I just can't go to sleep. When he's home, like 10 o'clock, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, see, and like I'm the total opposite. I can't. I got insomnia. It runs deep in my family. Everybody, I mean, you and Dawn should know this. I mean, fuck. We were always in the chat, somebody, and
Well,
I was 9 times out of 10. Everybody's like, "Do you ever sleep?" Well,
Right.
I mean, when I can.
Yeah. 4 hours of sleep and I was good, or I mean, there were days
if I get more than 6 hours of sleep,
4
don't wake me.
hours.
Yeah. I'm like, don't wake me if I get more than more than 6 hours. You don't want to wake me if it's been longer than that, because for one, I don't want to get out of bed. For two, I'm about to bite your head off. Like, don't even try it, because I promise you don't want to try it. I mean, I'm to the point to where, like, this morning I came back home from working last night. I was out by 9 a.m., which is not me. I normally 10, 11 is about the time. Then back up by 2. I was up by 1 because I went to bed so early.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Dawn, I definitely call these my babies. Every one of them. And Dave laughs because they all have to be touching me. Of course, right now they're all like scattered, which is unusual, which Raina was trying to talk a while ago. Raina wanted her time on YouTube. But yeah, and now I got the ducks, which are just freaking adorable. I'm obsessed.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were. We
Yes,
even
we
stayed up and like,
I taking hours to catch up on everything y'all talked about.
Yes, there was one night I called her. We just talked for hours. Just out of the blue, I just decided, fuck it, Dawn's awake, I'm gonna call her. I jumped on a messenger and called her. We FaceTime all night long. It was a good night. We had so much fun that night. We were like, wow, we got more in common than what we thought. we laughed and laughed and laughed until we couldn't laugh no more. Probably talked about everything under the sun too. Don't even remember. I just remember it was a good night. I mean, it was fun. That was one of the nights that I probably didn't have to work, I think.
Oh, no. Alrighty, guys. Well, I am gonna hop off. Thank you all for coming.
I gotta hop off of here too, so I gotta shut down the computer.
I know the first part was pretty heavy. I hope we lightened it up, and
I gotta go back and watch.
I hope that we can find a way in our community. You know what I mean? It's getting to be too much. It's enough.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, it's like Natasha said last night, isn't it weird that everybody was in her chat? I wasn't in there, of course. Not me. I'm not about to.
I didn't go.
We've been that road 50 times. We're not about to go that road again, right, Brandy?
Nope.
No. We'll let everybody else go that road a few more times.
Been there, done that. I ain't doing it again.
I mean, I definitely was there listening, but I'm not about to be in that fucking chat. No. And I'm not about to go back and visit. I just wanted to know the scoop last night. And the only reason why I wanted to know the scoop
I heard about it, and that's the only reason I listened to it.
Yes, that's why. I heard about it through the grapevine, so I went and listened.
I did that incognito, because I'm like, you're not going to view.
Yep.
I want to see what everybody's talking about, what the hell happened, and so that's what I did.
That's what I did, too. I heard it through the grapevine, went incognito, watched it, and left.
Well, and I want to have info for myself. Just like when people will go on that just said something. I go listen for myself, because I'm not going to just take somebody's word. I'm sorry, I love you guys, exactly. But sometimes you may hear.
We learned that lesson.
I have.
We learned that lesson. Yes, we have.
And I'm just not going to do it. And I may not see it the same way somebody else sees it.
Exactly. I mean, and that's why we're all individuals and we have our own opinions. That's what makes us us.
Right. And there's been times that, somebody will say so-and-so said whatever it was, and they were all upset about it. I'm like, well, hold on, and I'll listen. I'm like, okay, that's not how I took that. I took it this way. Are you sure? Listen to it again. Because sometimes our anger with somebody can make us see things and hear things differently.
Where are you going? Don't you do it. Where you
So,
going?
but alrighty, guys, I am gonna hop
Oh.
off. They are now whining at the door to go pee. So
Okay.
it is our nighttime potty breaks,
Oh man.
and I will see everybody. I'm gonna post pictures of the cake, and I'll probably post pictures of the wedding. And but next week I am probably.
I mean,
I
you
don't know
might want
that
to be
I'll
careful
but-
doing that in this town. If you get my drift.
Oh yeah. Look, here's the
Oh.
thing. I'm in a town of about 1,283 people. And it was 1,281 before we moved here. And so everybody knows everybody. The county commissioner just came and had a visit the other day. My good friend of mine's husband's on the sheriff department in this area. I'm not scared.
That's what I said. I said, I'm not scared to dox me all you want. I even gave my first, last, and maiden
Well, they've
name.
already done that. I've
Yeah,
already
I know, in my maiden name. I even threw out the maiden part. I threw it all out. I said, dox me all you want. My life is on a camera. Come to me. Please come to me.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
am
you know.
completely surrounded by cameras, day in and day out. Thank you. Come.
Right through the dog's like, oh no, she's talking again.
Oh, yes, I know. While crossing their legs. All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I got to get ready for work. I got to finish getting ready for work anyways.
Alrighty, bye guys. Y'all all have a good night and a good weekend and be safe.
I'm waving like you guys can see me. Bye.
Me too. I've been doing that the whole night or like pointing at things. Like, yeah.
Yep. Bye.
Bye guys.